Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear all participants, thank you for your time. In this occasion, I would like to present my paper of the 5th International Conference on Operation Research with the title Non-Stationary Generalized Additive Model Based Modeling of Extreme Precipitation Indices in East Nusa Tenggara, Indonesia. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Fausania, as the main author and also the presenter, together with my supervisors, Mr. Heri Puswanto and Mr. Sutikno. The outline of this presentation will be divided into 4 chapters as we can see in the slide. Now I will explain the introduction section. Extreme precipitation events appear to be increasing in magnitude and frequency at a global or continental scale, both in dry and wet regions, which potentially triggering more floods and droughts. Drought has been a major cause of disaster in Indonesia, in particular of East Nusa Tenggara, or here I mention as NTT province. The head of NTT's Regional Disaster Management Agency has mentioned that 20 districts consisting of 270 villages in NTT have been affected by severe drought. Indonesia Food Security Monitoring Bulletin has also listed NTT on the first priority of province in Indonesia which significantly affected by drought. And the analysis of Standardized Precipitation Index shows that NTT has experienced about 25 months of drought events within the periods of 1999 to 2015. Effective monitoring and measurement of extreme precipitation events to understand the nature of extreme climate phenomena is very important to evaluate future changes and impacts of extreme precipitation. Statistical analysis of the meteorological and hydrological time series generally depends on a number of basic assumptions as follows. The first is the time series is suitably long, and then the elements of the series are independent and identically distributed. And the third, the series is stationary, which means that the variables of interest are independent of time. But in fact, non-stationarity is often found in hydrological time series data due to climate variability or anthropogenic climate change. So, ignoring non-stationarity in the hydrological time series data can cause biased analysis result. Now, extreme precipitation analysis methods need to be improved to be able to adapt to uncertainties in changing environmental conditions. And one of the methods for non-stationary modeling is Generalized Additive Model for Location, Scale, and Shape, or here I mention as GML-SSS. GML-SSS has been proposed by Rigby and Stasinopoulos at the year of 2005 for non-stationary modeling. The method provides a flexible modeling framework, which response variables can follow more general distribution other than exponential families. The method also allows all conditional distribution parameters to be modeled as a parametric functions and or non-parametric additives of explanatory variables. And the GML-SSS model can represent values and distribution in seasonal time series. Previous studies using GML-SSS have been carried out by Zhang and Hao, which stated that extreme precipitation was significantly affected by a large-scale climate indices. Previous studies of extreme precipitation were also carried out by Hao, Wen, and National Aeronautics and Space Institute, which stated that several climate indices such as Pacific Decadal Oscillation, Southern Oscillation Index, and Nino sea surface temperature are identified as the main factors affecting the extreme precipitation in several regions. The single index of extreme precipitation has limitations to capture the full picture of extreme precipitation. So there are several indices recommended by the Working Group on Climate Change Detection. This study will use 2 indices that represent high and low extreme precipitations. The first one, high precipitation, is explained by the R5D or Maximum 5-Day Precipitation Total Index, and the low precipitation is explained by the CDD or Maximum Number of Consecutive Dry Days. Using the Annual Precipitation Index is able to simplify the analysis and show changes in intensity of extreme precipitation. This study will also analyze the effect of Southern Oscillation Index and Nino 3.4 sea surface temperature as a large-scale climate indices on the extreme precipitation events in NTT province. 2 climate indices used in this study span from the period of last December to February, which potentially affect the occurrence of extreme precipitation. There are several types and distributions that can be used in GML-SSS model, so that the best model is chosen to model the precipitation indices at each station or region in NTT province. The results of this study are also expected to be used as information for the development and application of predicting and identifying extreme precipitation, also developing mitigation and adaptation strategies to the impacts of extreme precipitation. Now, I will explain the methods chapter. The first is study region. The figure shows the location of the meteorological stations in NTT. Actually, there are 9 stations, but in this study, we only use 3 of 9 stations, which are Umbu, Eltari, and Franciscus Meteorological Stations. The data can be downloaded from the official website of Meteorological Office Indonesia. And daily rainfall or precipitation rate observed in East Nusa Tenggara spans from the period of 2006 to 2017. The result of the analyzing data from a specific station represents a condition of districts in that region and its surrounding area. The response variables used in this study is R5D or maximum 5-day precipitation total and CDD or maximum number of consecutive dry days. And the explanatory variables used in this study are Nino 3.4 sea surface temperature and Southern Oscillation Index. These are the definitions of the response variable. And these are the definitions of the explanatory variables. The methods used in this study is generalized additive models for location, scale, and shape. GML-SSS involves several models, and we will use the semi-parametric additive formulation of GML-SSS given by the formula in the slide. Next, I will explain the step of the data analysis. The first is simulation study. The simulation study is carried out by generating data using the concept of random number generators to determine the power of GML-SSS method. And the second is pre-processing data and aggregate the daily precipitation real data into annual precipitation indices R5D and CDD. And the third is modeling extreme precipitation indices at 3 stations in East Nusa Tenggara. Now I will explain the step of modeling extreme precipitation indices. The response variables are constructed by developing a relationship between distributional parameters and explanatory variables through the use of cubic smoothing splines. Its response variable is then modeled with 3 types of model, which are stationary model 0, non-stationary model 1, and 2. 3 widely continuous distribution used for R5D is log normal, gamma, and generalized gamma distribution. And the 3 widely discrete used distribution for CDD is generalized Poisson, negative binomial, and Poisson inverse Gaussian. The RS algorithm was used for parameter estimation, and the GAIC was employed to select the optimal distribution for each type of model. And to evaluate the goodness of the optimal models, the independence and the normality of the residuals were checked by computing the Philibin coefficient together with the worm plots. Now, I will explain the result and discussion chapter. The first is simulation study. The simulation study for R5D and CDD was carried out by generating data with certain distributions according to predetermined parameter values and different number of data sets. Generating and modeling each data was done with 100 times replication to determine the power of the method. The precision of the simulated power can be determined by recognizing the model with the smallest GIEC value, followed the distribution of the initial generated data scenarios. And here are the results of the simulation study for R5D and CDD. The results showed that GML-SSS method is able to capture distribution of the data properly in accordance with the initial generated data scenarios. And nearly 100% of the data modeled with the initial distributions have the smallest GIIC value compared to other non-conforming distributions. And the consistency of the method remains high in both small and large samples. Next is data characteristics. Here is the average of R5D and CDD extreme precipitation indices at 3 stations in NTT. The results show that highest precipitation occurred in Sika district, where Francisco Saverius Meteorological Station is located. And the values inform that almost all districts in NTT were dry areas with low rainfall intensity. Now, I will explain the result of modeling extreme precipitation indices in NTT. The first is modeling R5D. The R5D extreme precipitation index of each station in NTT were analyzed by 3 types of models mentioned in the methodology section. 3 widely used distributions for R5D were considered for the models, and the GIAC value was employed to select the best model. And here is the result of modeling R5D at 3 stations in NTT. The result shows that non-stationarity existed in the intensity of extreme precipitation events in NTT. And the Southern Escalation Index and NINO 3.4 sea surface temperature used in the study are identified as the main factors influencing the extreme precipitation events R5D at those 3 stations in NTT. Next is the modeling of CDD Extreme Precipitation Index. The modeling of CDD was carried out in the same way with the modeling of R5D. And here is the result of modeling CDD at the 3 stations in NTT. At Eltari Meteorological Stations, non-stationary Model 1 is selected as the optimal model, and therefore the CDD series are changing with time at Eltari Meteorological Stations. At Franciscus and Umbu Meteorological Stations, 2 climate indices influence the mean value of CDD, while the fluctuation of the CDD is influenced by time. It also can be seen from the tables that the Philibin coefficient of R5D and CDD series are close and others are higher than 0.95, indicating unacceptable results. To evaluate the goodness of fit of the optimal models, the independence and normality of the residuals were checked. And here is the result of the wormholes for residuals from the best models of R5D and CDD series. It can be seen from the figures that all the points are inside the 95% confidence interval, which indicates satisfactory modeling performance of the best model of R5D and CDD. And the last, I will explain the conclusion. Modeling occurrence of extreme precipitation events under non-stationarity is important to understand the changing extreme precipitation regimes and its physical mechanism. It can be concluded from the simulation study that the GMLSSS method is able to capture the distribution of the data properly in accordance with the initial generated data scenarios. And the consistency of the method remains high in both small and large samples. And the second conclusion from the modeling of R5D and CDD shows that at most stations, detailed information about the extreme precipitation events can be better explained by climate-induced non-stationarity models using climate indices as explanatory variables compared to stationary and non-stationary Model 1, or with parameters changing over time. And here are the references used in this study. I think that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.